Okay, so you probably think Willow is a silly kids movie about a peck who hooks up with Val Kilmer to rescue a magic ginger baby from a Skeletor cosplayer. Well, maybe, but looking at it that way is a bit like killing yourself because you think life is meaningless. You may technically be right, but I think you're missing the point. Was that too dark? I feel like that may have been too dark. Let's try that again. Well, maybe, but that's kind of like saying The Big Lebowski is a movie about a rug. You're not wrong, you're just an asshole. Also, dude, Peck is not the preferred nomenclature. Nelwyn, please. And I'm here to tell you that Willow is a feminist masterpiece. Now, if you haven't seen Willow in a while, it's possible that you remember precisely 3 faces and think I've gotten into the black root again. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Because while these may be the most memorable characters, General Kale works for Sorsha in proxy of Bavmorda, and ultimately Madmartigan serves Willow, who serves Elora Danan.
I serve the Nelwyn, Eric.
And we're just getting started. Every angle you look at it from, the story is controlled by women. For one thing, the 2 most powerful people in the world of the film are women. That fact is undisputed throughout the movie.
Bavmorda's too powerful.
No! She cannot transform you again. My spell is protecting this camp.
And ultimately, the climax of the film is a final battle where these 2 elderly magic users throw each other around the room while pointing little sticks at each other. What's more, the entire political structure of the story is matriarchal. Consider this org chart of the Willow universe that is real and accurate in every detail. A few of these allegiances change over the course of the story, but ultimately, Madmartigan, the most alpha male in the entire movie, serves Willow. And Willow serves Elora Danan. In so doing, he follows the direction of Shirlendria and Fin Raziel without question. Meanwhile, Bavmorda rules the empire of Nockmaar. She is attended by 4 wizard interns, and her second-in-command is her daughter Sorsha, who seems to be on more or less equal footing with General Kale. But when push comes to shove, she is the one giving orders to General Kale, and not the other way around.
Help my daughter to find that tiny, helpless baby that continues somehow to elude her.
General Kale, by the way? This guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And this guy from the Temple of Doom. And these guys from Conan the Destroyer. Fucking A, am I right? Okay, so the political structures of Nockmaar and Galadorn are matriarchal. Fine. But what about the actual story? Willow and Madmartigan are the ones who really make things happen, right? Nope. Willow is just a surrogate for the audience. The movie happens to him and not because of him. We are meant to experience the world of the film through his eyes. He makes very few decisions of any consequence, with his character arc focusing on him reaching deep down and finding the self-confidence necessary to do what other people tell him to.
Give the baby to the first Daikini you see, then hurry home.
Take my wand, the sorceress Fin Raziel.
Willow, you must transform me to my human self.
Madmartigan, meanwhile, plays the important role of protector, but makes no critical decision ever. His primary contributions to moving the plot along are losing Elora Danan to the Brownies,
I stole the baby!
and motivating Sorsha to sack up and tell her mother to suck a fat wand. But more on that later. The fact is, the story is motivated entirely, and I mean 100%, by women. Elora Danan may be the child who was prophesied, but she never would have had a chance to mindfuck Willow into doing her bidding if the midwife hadn't had the enormous ladyballs necessary to steal a small human literally from under Queen Bavmorda's nose. And when Willow finds Elora Danan in the river, he wants to leave her there.
We'll push it downstream and forget we ever saw it.
It is Kaya who makes the decision to rescue the stray L'Enfant Weasley, getting Willow involved against his will.
Kaya!
Shirlendria directs Willow to find Fin Raziel, and of course Raziel essentially becomes the general commanding Eric, and by extension, the entire Galadorn army. Oh, and Eric is Brad from Superman 3. At Tir Asleen, when all is nearly lost, Sorsha falls in love with Madmartigan and makes the crucial decision to switch sides. Now, I know Val Kilmer's is hot, but real talk though, this isn't about that. It's easy to watch this and think it's the woman falls for man when she learns he can fight trope. But that's not it at all. His skills may be impressive, but so are hers. She doesn't need a protector, and she's already proven she can beat him in a physical contest. What she sees is not his skill, but his selfless acts of heroism as he repeatedly puts himself at risk to protect both Willow and Elora Danan. He is clearly selfless, moral, and good, and his is therefore the side of righteousness. So Madmartigan inspires her, but it is Sorsha's moral choice that changes the tide of the battle and ultimately the fate of the world. When Bavmorda again has the upper hand, it is Finn Rizal who motivates the troops to continue the fight.
I'm going to fight.
Me too.
All right, we've got to decide who's gonna go and who's gonna stay.
And Rizal herself takes on Bavmorda in the effort to rescue Elora Danan from banishment to the Phantom Zone.
You will lie down before me, Jarrell!
And if all that is not enough, if the most powerful people in the world being women doesn't convince you, if the entire political structure being matriarchal doesn't convince you, and if every single key plot point being motivated by women doesn't convince you, if heroic action is your only metric, then I'm gonna suggest that the greatest hero in the movie, the one who exhibits the greatest bravery, commits the greatest act, and pays the greatest price, is the midwife. She's not a seasoned warrior, she's not a powerful wizard. She's just an old woman who does what's right with no help and no plan for escape. She knew what she was doing, and she could never have expected to get even as far as she did. She is the film's greatest hero because not only is Elora Danan dead before the opening credits without her, but because her reward for saving the world is to be torn apart by dogs and forgotten by page 2. Hey, thanks for watching. Please click like and hit subscribe for more inane screeds about random movies. Also check out Oliver Harper's Willow retrospective. It's a good video and I got a couple of ideas from it, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. The link is in the description. And if you're getting ready to write a comment about how I left out the Bechdel test, well, just don't. For those of you who don't get your film theory from Reddit comments, a movie passes the Bechdel test if it has 2 female characters who have a conversation about something other than a man. Act 1, Scene 1, Page 1 finds Queen Bavmorda, Sorsha, and a Nockmaar citizen all discussing the future prospects of Elora Danan. If it only takes 2 female characters to pass the test, what do you get for 4? A chair at Vassar?